Yeah, good morning, my viewers, and wherever you're watching from. I'm so happy to be in your front this morning. And yes, thank God we're alive and everything is going on very well. This is a part two of the video I did on the foundations of wealth. If you must create wealth, this is the part two of it. This is a part two. I said on the part one, I taught us about the foundations to creating wealth is you having a strong desire, you having a strong, very strong desire to create wealth. And I said that if you have not created a strong desire to, make wealth, all you do, you always struggle. You wouldn't have that vibe to, to move ahead in life. When you have strong desire, your inspirational power becomes higher. I gave us illustrations of Edison and the man that came to partner with him. So, on this part two, I'm going to tell us the second thing that make us to grow in wealth, and we must build it, which is, guess it, decision. You must have had the strong desire to become wealthy. Then you must create a strong decision. You must now make a strong decision to be wealthy. Can I tell you something? Nobody just stands and become wealthy. No. Wealth is not something you just come out and you say one day I'm going to become wealthy. It's not like that. There must come a day in your life when you make a strong decision that today I am going to become wealthy. And as from today, I'm going to start doing things that would make me wealthy. That was how I was able to live the kind of life I am living, the kind of life where I am now achieving greatness in wealth. Now, let me tell you something. There was a day that came as a strong touch to me that made me to make a strong. I've had so many punches on my life, in my life, that made me to make so many decisions. But this particular day made me to sum up all things in my mind that I was going to become wealthy, no matter what it took, that I was going to become wealthy in this life. Now, let me tell you what happened. It's a short story. Stay tuned, you're going to be blessed. And if after my story you don't make the decision to become wealthy, I don't think you're ever going to become wealthy in your life. I was living in a one-room apartment with my wife and my child at that year, and that one-room apartment itself wasn't it was just like a cubicle. We were managing it, a husband and a wife trying to make ends meet. Before we got into the house, I saw a crack I saw a crack on that wall, at the edge of the wall inside that one room apartment. But the crack has been there, so we had to manage it because we were trying to rent a house that we could afford. So along the line we lived, first year. At the end of the first year, what's this thing that's disturbing my leg? At the end of the first year, I we noticed a line crack. It was like a line crack on the wall. Let me check this thing that's been disturbing me. Okay, we noticed a line crack on the wall. It was like a minor crack. It wasn't that major. So we, my wife told me that look at this crack on this wall. Oh. I think it's something now that we have to figure out. You know, I, I I knew, it was something that we needed to repair, or it's something that we needed to leave the house and find a house that was more better. But I told my wife that we were going to do it. Not because I was lazy about it, but because we were like looking for money. Imagine you could barely get by and you have a crack in your house that is potentially going to be destructive. You can't move out simply because there is no money. But something happened. After quite several weeks going on, discovered that the crack that was on the wall on our window side had become so large. Like so large that I don't know what we could do. But we were still managing it. We had to use carton and fix and cover up those loopholes. Suddenly, one midnight while we were sleeping, because by the back of our house is like a swampy area where water logs constantly gather. So the house was cracking. I could notice that the house was now bending. The house was now bending, tilting as if that side wanted to fall off. So quickly, I went and dragged my son away from the block. My wife shifted away from that side of the wall that was cracking. At 2 a.m., when the rain was falling so heavy, 2 a.m., the rain was falling so heavy, I noticed cracks, like something, things were cracking and we are falling inside the water at the back. I wanted to go out putting on my shorts, but my wife said, no need to go out. We already know that this house was going to fall one day. Perhaps this is the day. I have never been afraid the way I was afraid that particular night. I see. I was so deeply afraid that my hand was literally shaking. I was like, Jesus. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was shaking. Because just imagine our house facing the roadside, 2 a.m. in the midnight, heavy rain falling. That was the height of it. So that was the height of poverty. Living in a condition that you know you don't have any money on. Living in a condition you know you don't have any money to, you don't have money to go away from. But we're only managing it. I just summoned the courage and I told my wife, no, let me go and check this out. I went from our gate, our compound gate. I went back, and when I went there, I was trying to check it out to see what is going to, happen. And I was trying to check it was something that I could wage with a stick. Only all of a sudden for me to see that building collapsed and it wanted to fall on me. I just had to shift, and the building fell off. One side of our room fell off. I didn't take the front gate that I took in coming out. I just entered from that particular side. Look at me sitting down, my house now open, and guess what? I don't know what next. I was sitting down and I was asking myself, what kind of life is this? What kind of poverty lifestyle is it? I am just tired. Looking at my child sleeping, looking at my wife looking at me. I was looking at God. I was like, God, what is all this? I have never been afraid in my life the way I was afraid that particular day. I have never been afraid. But by and by, I was like, no, this is the height of it. That day in my mind, I made a decision that no matter how hard it gets, no matter what it took, I was going to become wealthy in my life. That if not for anything, I'm going to become wealthy. I'm going to buy land and build houses for people who do not have houses. You understand? You're getting my own solution. Something must happen in your life, like a shock, that would make you to take the decision that you are never, ever going to be poor again in your life. There must come a day in your life when you make this drastic decision that today is that day. I must be wealthy. From today, I will never ever live a poverty lifestyle. I made my own decision. That day that my house collapsed, I was just running helter-skelter. By morning, I found a way to put a board to cover that particular place. People were coming to commiserate to say, thank you, we are sorry for what happened to you. We are sorry. I was looking at my little boy. I was looking at my wife. I was looking at the fact that we were living in a house that was not covered, that anything could creep in, snake, reptiles, whatever. But today, the story is no longer the same. But it all started with a simple decision that I was going to become wealthy no matter what it took. If you find this video helpful, please I'd like you to share this video to some other person who needs to be inspired. And also, please, I'd like you to subscribe so that you can get my next videos that are coming up. I'm going to do the part 3, so you can go ahead to watch out the part 3 of what it takes to build wealth from the foundation. Thank you very much. Thank you.